the beautiful thing about emotional intelligence for me is that emotional intelligence is a life skill. And critical life skill here, I'm looking at aspects such as, stress tolerance, make think, and you name all the other life skills. It's the critical thing. It's the most critical life skill that really houses all others, right? Now, I would also like to point out that emotional intelligence alone. What do I mean? It is very important to keep in mind that we have what you also call the traditional IQ, which is intelligent quotient. And having said that, EQ is one of the various forms of intelligence that exist out here. And I'd like to really bring a relationship between emotional intelligence, that is EQ, and intelligent quotient, which is IQ. Now, I've already defined what EQ is, that is emotional intelligence. Now I want to get to IQ is. So IQ, intelligent quotient, really is a score that's derived from various numerous tests that are done, and the sole purpose is for to determine things such as education placement or job placement. So it's really it's really focused more on cognitive ability. Now, it is important to have IQ because IQ, you need a certain level of IQ to be able to function effectively in everyday life, but IQ alone is not enough. You need EQ, and there are such the name of Bore and Miller in the year 2001, and they say that emotional intelligence and intelligent quotient are complementary forms of intelligence, and that we need both of them. And they like to state that we need IQ in order to perform well in our day-to-day life, but it is EQ, emotional intelligence, that distinguishes outstanding leaders, teams, and organizations. So you can see how the two need to work together, and you can see how the importance of EQ and what it really means. But if I may even down further, we all know, especially with our educational system, we know the process we go through. Primary school, then the 844, then with the KCSE, then from there you go to the college or tertiary university, college or a university. That is our process. Now, for you to apply for a job, all right, those entry requirements is the IQ that is required, right? They say they want a degree, they want experience, that is fine. And the thing is this, when they place an advert, whether it is for, let's say, a specific position, or it is a driver, or it is a clerk, you'll get thousands and thousands of applicants, all right? Now, maybe out of the thousands, you may find that 50 people would meet the criteria, and thereby will get the job, isn't it? But now, what will determine these individuals' growth, progress, or trajectory in that institution is the EQ, all right? And things such as what? Like I mentioned, how do you relate with people? How do you communicate? How do you present yourself? It is those, how do you go out of your way, going beyond just what is given to you, for example, but doing something extra. It is that to really push the you stand out, and hence will even will even make you grow, all right? Even notwithstanding, I mean, we've come across this, all of us, in one shape or form, where we're in situations using best spheres. As an example, you find that there's an average person who's not necessarily very intelligent in as far as academics is concerned or logic is concerned, but they're very good when it comes to people skills. All right, but then you've got another person who is very smart and a student, but necessarily very good in as far as people skills is concerned. The question is, why is that the case? Yeah, the issue here is really all about IQ. Okay, and it's therefore imperative for each and every one of us to learn, take time, and seek to improve on emotional intelligence. And that's why I really like emotional intelligence, because it is a skill that can be improved. It's not a score, it's improved on a day-to-day basis. I give a good example. You may say you're a good communicator. Maybe you're good in, let's say, verbal, but you may need some improvement as far as verbal communication is concerned, or you may need improvement as far as your written communication is concerned. So it's all about, how do you, how also open-minded you are to learning and receiving, whether it is information or criticism, and so that you're able now to improve and develop as a person. Something else I'd like to point out about emotional intelligence is that it makes you understand yourself that much better. Especially in the world we're living in right now, I always feel you cannot give what you don't have. All right? So if you're able to understand yourself first as a person, okay? Because I say it is the person that makes up the family, and it is that same person who will go up and make the community and the society at large. It is very important that we actually have our own self-introspection. That's the beauty of emotional intelligence for me, from where I sit. It does that. It makes me sit and figure out myself as a person, especially in this era of stress and depression and suicide, especially in our country. I feel if you're able to understand yourself better, you're able to handle various situations in a more effective and productive manner. Okay, and if I may just touch on depression and suicide, just for the benefit of you people. Emotion is that stress does not start. Depression, suicide, it's not an event. It started from somewhere. Okay? It always begins by something called strain. And here's where I want you to see where EQ comes in. Strain happens when you have two competing goals and failure to leave frustrated. Okay? Now, the frustration, you've got two competing goals, you've got two goals, both are very good. A good example, one, you've been invited for a party by a friend, and the other, you've been invited to go for swimming by another friend. Both are very good. But failure to go for one makes you feel frustrated, isn't it? So here is where it comes in. We then need to be able to discern, know the cost benefit of each of the two goals. That if I go for the party, what does it mean? If I go swimming, what does it mean? All right? Now, when you have, and since you're unable to meet one goal, and you've taken up the frustration then persists. It then becomes stress. All right? A level of stress, if you don't resolve it, it then progresses and then becomes mild stress, then becomes severe stress. Then you begin to exhibit certain symptoms such as headaches, you feel nauseated, you start beginning to feel hopeless, then you start feeling hopeless. At the level of severe stress, you are at the borderline of depression. Okay? Now, depression, a medical condition. Be very clear about that. It's a medical condition. Alright? And as through my explanation, you've seen that depression has not just come in. It is a process. Alright? Now, when you become depressed, the key feature of depression is hopelessness and helplessness. Where you feel you don't you don't feel like you're worth living, you don't feel that you're worth living as a person. If you don't mitigate that, and I must say, depression is a matter that is handled by the people in the medical field. Alright? Notably, we've got the psychiatrists among other medical practitioners. Okay? Then from there, once not handled, the next step, more often than not, after depression, comes suicide. So, in this chain, what is important to note is the aspect of behavior. Where along the line have you noted a behavior change? Okay? It requires active listening, it requires active observation, and it requires EQ. And this is how one of the ways EQ can actually come in and apply in our day-to-day life, and more so in this era of stress and depression. Okay? Great. So, back to emotional intelligence as a subject matter. I feel that aside from being able to understand yourself, I also feel it's a way that through EQ you'll be able to have, a better functioning economy, a better functioning system. So for me, it's across the key areas of development, and we will be able to be more happy, be happier, and will be more productive as a society. And I've come to the end of this today. I'm looking forward to our next session. I'll be having more of this, so please be tuned, and I'll be posting. And that you have yourself a good day, and remember, let's be more emotionally intelligent. Thank you very much.